Sairam students, today we are going to start with our value education session. So we are going to start with chapter 3, that is a search for a contented man. So children, there are various different types of stories in this value education, right? So the story which today we are going to discuss is about a search for a contented man. Now contented means a happy or a satisfied person, right? So let's read the story. There was a king named Shauryaveer. Once he called his ministers and asked them to find out a fully satisfied man. The ministers searched the length and the breadth of the land. All of them failed and reported their inability to find such an exemplary man. So what happened? A king named Shauryaveer was there. So what he did, he called all his ministers one day and he told these ministers to find out a fully satisfied man. Means a person who is satisfied, who doesn't want any other things. He is happy with whatever he is having, right? So he doesn't expect more things. So what did the ministers do? They searched each and every part of the land. This length and breadth is a phrase, right? So they searched the length and the breadth of the land means they searched each and every part of the land. But what happened? They could not find out such an exemplary man. Means they could not find out any satisfied person or a perfect person who is fully satisfied or who is a very happy person on this earth. The king became restless. He called his prime minister and gave him an ultimatum of 3 days to find a contented man. He said, "Prime Minister, if you don't find a contented man within 3 days, then I shall relieve you all of your royal duties." So since all the ministers could not find out the fully satisfied person, so the king, he became restless. So what he did, he called his prime minister and he told the prime minister that I am giving you a deadline of 3 days and you have to find out within 3 days this fully satisfied person, right? So and also he told the prime minister that if you are not able to find such person, then I will remove you from the position of the prime minister, right? Though the prime minister was wise, he had to confront repeated failures wherever he went in the country. Tired, he was returning to the palace at the end of the 3rd day. He was ruing over the fact that he was unable to identify a contented man. He wondered whether his efforts had been lacking somewhere. Thinking so, as he drove his chariot forth, he saw a beggar sitting and singing alone under a tree. So, the prime minister, he was a very clever person. So, he, in spite of his being so clever, he couldn't find this fully satisfied person in the country. So he was returning back to the palace at the end of the 3rd day. So since he could not find out that satisfied man, he was regretting that being so wise he could not find out such a satisfied man. So he then started thinking where he went wrong, where he had put some less efforts, that he could not find out this satisfied man. So thinking like this, he was driving his chariot. So chariot means, children, rath, right? You might have seen in Mahabharata, Ramayana. It's an open vehicle with 2 wheels which is pulled by a horse or 2 or 3 horses, right? So he was thinking about all these things when he was driving the chariot. So at that time, what did he see? He saw a beggar. And what was this beggar doing? He was sitting and singing alone, right? And where was he sitting? He was sitting under a tree. Prime Minister asked the beggar, "What are you doing?" The beggar replied, "I need food, clothes, etc. So I pray and sing, demanding all these from God. Let us see if He, the Almighty, grants them to me." Prime Minister asked, "Do you think God will grant your request?" The beggar replied, "Maybe, yes, but I pray daily." So, then this prime minister, he asked the beggar that, "What are you doing sitting under the tree?" So the beggar, he said that he requires food and clothes. So that's the reason he's singing and he's praying to God, so that God will fulfill his wishes, right? So here Almighty means the God. So he said, "Let's see whether the God will grant my request." So then Prime Minister asked this beggar, "Do you think that God will fulfill your request?" He said, "Yeah, maybe God will fulfill my request. So that's the reason I pray and sing every day." Then the Prime Minister asked, "Do you want a comfortable life hereafter? Food, house, clothes, etc.?" The answer was prompt, "Yes." The Prime Minister then instructed thus, "Sit under this tree tomorrow. The king will come to meet you. He will give you loads of riches, clothes, etc. Refuse them by saying that you are contented. Say that God has given me everything." So then, since the Prime Minister was wise, what he said, he asked the beggar, "Do you want a comfortable life?" Comfortable means, children, without any worries, relaxed life, right? So the beggar, he immediately replied yes. So what the Prime Minister told the beggar, that you sit under this tree tomorrow. I will bring the king over here, and king will give you all these food, clothes, house, etc. Right? And then when the king offers you all these things, you say him no. Tell him that God has given me everything. Right? Having arranged thus, the Prime Minister went to the king and reported that he had found a contented man. The king said, "Let us go and see him tomorrow morning. I am frustrated with this life of mine. I am dull and thoughtful. I am not satisfied with how things are going on in this world. I want to see him whom you call contented." So, after meeting the beggar, the Prime Minister, he went to the king and he told him that he has found a contented man. So the king replied to the prime minister, that tomorrow morning we'll go and meet him. And then the king, he just tells that he is upset with his life. He is not able to think anything. He is feeling very dull, and he is not able to understand how things are going to go in this world. So he said that tomorrow I will see that person, how contented he is. Everything was arranged. The retinue accompanying the king were all in their finery. Carts of jewels, food, etc. were also a part of the king's procession. All of them were going to meet the contented man found by the prime minister. So the prime minister, he made all the arrangements to meet the beggar. And what as you all know, children, that whenever the king is going anywhere, right, so along with him ministers and the soldiers also accompany him. So all of them accompanied him, right? And also the king, what he arranged the food and jewels and many other things in the cart, and all of them went to meet that satisfied person along with the prime minister. The contented man, as decided, was sitting under the tree. The ling prostrated before him, that is, the fake sadhu, that means the contented man, getting down his palanquin. The sadhu blessed one and all. So, as the prime minister had told that beggar that you have to sit under the tree. So, he was sitting over there only. and what he did, he blessed each and every person who came over there. Palanquin means, children, it's a big covered box like vehicle. You might have seen, children, in olden days, the queen, when they are moving from their kingdom to another kingdom, right? So they sit in that palki type, so that is called as a palanquin, right? So the king said, my prime minister tells me that you are a contented sadhu. I see no robes, no followers or an ashram here. You are calm and composed. I am blessed. Please accept my Guru Dakshina of gold, clothes, food, etc. Lead a trouble-free life. Please initiate me as your disciple. So the king, he met that satisfied sadhu, and then he asked him that I do not see any followers. So generally you have seen, children, whenever any sadhu is there, lot of followers, means people who believe him, they go and meet him, hear his chantings every day, right? So the king asked that where is your ashram? I cannot see any followers. And robes means, children, it's a long, loose or a flowing gown, right? So he said, you are very quiet, I am blessed. And then he tells the beggar that I have brought some Guru Dakshina, which contains gold, clothes, food, and many other things. So I would request you to accept that as a Guru Dakshina, so that you can live a good life without any worries. So please accept me as your disciple, right? The fake sadhu brushed aside all the gifts and said majestically, God has given me everything. I am blessed. All these riches are of no use to me. Take them away. He also refused to initiate the king. So this fake, when the king, he offered all this Guru Dakshina, the fake sadhu, he said that I do not want all these gifts. God has given me everything. So I do not require all of them. So whatever these gold clothes are there, it is of no use to me. I do not require them. So you take it away, he told the king. The king withdrew all the items and returned. On reaching his palace, he said to the prime minister, I have come face to face with a man who is really contented. My kingdom is blessed by his presence. Look after him well. So what the king, he returned back to the palace, and after returning to the palace, he told the prime minister that I have really seen the contented person, right? So and he is there in our kingdom. That is a very big thing. So he tells the prime minister, you look after that contented person nicely, right? So this is the story of a search for a contented man. So children, the prime minister, he was very wise, and he could, because of his cleverness, he could find out such a contented person. The next day, the prime minister went to the sadhu with a bag full of gold coins, and the sadhu refused to touch it. So next day what happened? The prime minister, he went to the sadhu, that is the beggar, and he gave the bag containing gold coins, but the sadhu did not accept it. The prime minister was surprised. Why? He asked the sadhu. The sadhu said, I got riches, clothes and respect of the king. If I become a real sadhu, what will God not give me? I am blessed. I am more than a king now. God loves me. He is with me. People love me. What more do I want? He left the place and was never seen again. So the prime minister, he becomes surprised when he is giving the gold coins and the sadhu is not accepting. So the sadhu, he told the prime minister that the king only came and met me. So I don't want this clothes and the other riches, right? So I just pretended to be a sadhu, and God gave me all these things. If I would have become a real sadhu, what not things God will give me? So I am more than a king, right? I am greater than the king. So if God loves me and people also love me. What do I want more? So after this, the beggar, he left that place and nobody saw him again over there. So what is the moral of the story? Contentment leads to happiness. So if you are satisfied, you can live a very happy life, right? So you have to always remember, children, contentment and peace are the invaluable gems of one's life. Without them, one becomes a beggar, right? So having a happy and a satisfied life and without any worries, these are the invaluable, means gems of our life. And if these things are not there, then we are like a beggar, right? So this was what in today's story, children. In the next session, we'll go through another story. Till then, goodbye.